What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioWest 3 Raw TV. Tonight we're going to talk about something that obviously I have a lot of experience with. Hits home pretty well for me, and it's increasingly becoming a worse and worse problem that it's getting pretty fucking ridiculous. And that is the drug addiction, opiate addiction, drug problem, substance abuse. I think we're going to go substance abuse problem because it doesn't have to be just drugs. It could be sex, it could be food, it could be alcohol, it could be whatever. And September is Recovery Awareness Month, okay, which this year I think I stopped counting, to be honest with you. Like when you first go into recovery, you get these little coins, these chips. And as you progress, you get more chips. And it's almost like a trophy, right? It's like a reward, something to look forward to. And at one point I was like, you know what, I don't need these things. Just like actual bodybuilding trophies. Like I tossed most of my bodybuilding trophies. I'm like, I don't need these things to tell me who I am. I need to just take it a day at a time and not worry about the next chip or the next trophy. And like I've kind of approached everything in my life as a one day at a time, one meal at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time, if I have to approach over the last like 15 years. And the latest thing is the Mac Miller thing. Now, I'll be totally straight with you guys. I didn't know who the fuck Mac Miller was. I had no clue who this dude was. Like I had to look it up. I had to find out fucking like what size. I watched him sing this song in a video. I was like, I had no idea. I didn't, fucking Dave Ariana Grande, no clue. And it's just another name in the line, like the list, the string of names. Like Demi Lovato, she didn't pass away, but she had a drug overdose, like a month ago or something like that. And I'm sitting back, and every single one of these people, whether they pass away or they relapse or they're in the throes of their addiction, I can relate to 100% because that frame of mind never goes away. Like those thoughts never go away. Wanting to get high never goes away. You just learn tools to deal with the things that trigger you wanting to get high and how to deal with those things in life because they come up all the time. So your choices are either get high and live a completely fucked up life that you hate, because nobody enjoys, even the richest people in the world, they don't have to go out and struggle to do random fucking illegal shit to get the money. Even they don't like their lives. They don't like getting up in the morning, being sick, and having to take the drug. It's an illegal drug. So even if you're famous and rich, getting the drug sometimes can be hard. When people get busted, it dries up. Like that shit happens. Like that's real life. So even people that are rich and famous and have, like everything handed to them and have followings and have people trying to help them stay high, they still go through withdrawals and go through problems, right? Like it's just how it is. Like the nature of addiction. Like it's not a fun thing. It's not a glamorous thing. It's not an exciting thing. It's not something you want to do over and over again every day. It's something that you look at and you go, how the fuck did I get here? Like seriously, how is my life this now? Like that's where it winds up. And the Demi Lovato thing, like it really kind of shocked me because I had known that she was into cutting earlier. Like I don't know much about her because I don't follow her. But when I hear about these celebrities with the drugs, the same thing comes out of people's mouths every time. Why would they do drugs? They have such a great life, right? And I think that most people watching this that don't know anything about addiction, that have never actually had a lot of money in their life ever at any point, think that happiness comes with money. They think because these people are famous, they date famous celebrities, they have a lot of money, they live in Hollywood, they think that they're happy. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know how else to explain it, except I wish I could give everybody $1 million just to experience what it's like to have $1 million for a year, so that at the end of that year they can come back and be like, dude, like I had all this fucking money, but I was miserable about this fucking pissed me off, I hated this about my life. Like you would really see pretty quickly that money doesn't solve it. Like it doesn't. It gives you freedom to do things you want to do, but when you're trapped inside your own fucking head, you can't get out of your own fucking head. No amount of money can get you out of that. So therefore you turn to the drug to blank that spot in your memory, to remove you from your mind, to shorten the time that you're aware, the time that you're conscious, whatever. You turn to drugs for that. And that is something that does not go away, okay? So I inherited anxiety from my dad. My dad had anxiety and he had depression. And I inherited that anxiety and didn't really know it. I wasn't diagnosed till much later in life. And I think that people around you, so your parents might notice it, your siblings might notice it, but they might say, well, they often think depression and anxiety go together, and it's not always that way. So you might have anxiety without the depression. They're looking at you for anxiety or for depression-like symptoms. You have anxiety, it's not the same. So therefore, they're like, he's fine. He's just in a funk. He's in a stupor. He's having a bad day, whatever the case may be. But Your friends around you may not notice that. Okay, because what happens is you may be revved up. So for example, let's say I'm like, having a bad day and I'm super anxious about something, right? And I'm starting to freak out. I'm like, things are just running through my head that I can't control, and you can't stop, and you're a little aggressive with people around you. You're a little snappy. You're a little pissed off. You're a little bit, aggravated. They go, he's just having a bad day. At the end of the day, you go home and you don't see them at the gym, at work, or whatever. They just figure, well, he's going home. He's having a bad day. He'll have something to eat, go to bed. The next day when you come in, you might be fine, right? You might not be having those anxiety attacks, those high anxiety thoughts, the feelings, the paralyzation of having a pit in your stomach and thinking there's 40 million things that are going to go wrong in the next 5 minutes. And you're not having it the next day, so they don't really think about it. It wasn't until I was actually on my own with the different women that I've dated and my wife too, where they actually saw what I was like at home. Like, it didn't go away. Like, I couldn't sleep and I couldn't stop thinking, and I'd lay down, I'd pop right back up because my brain wouldn't shut off. And I'd be at dinner with my wife and say, we've been out of the house for like 3 hours. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, well, Brady is home alone. Like, the house could have caught on fire. Like, he might be dead right now. And I put a sticker on the front door. So when you walk up to a door, it's for the firemen. It says, firefighters, please save our, and it says dog. I check off dog. We have one, put the number 1, named Brady. Please save him. He's in the house. Like, that's on our front door. And that is based on my anxiety. Okay. And that is something that doesn't go away. Like, I have to talk myself down, and I'm fully aware of the fact that I'm being absolutely ridiculous. Like, before I even get on the flight to go out to wherever I'm going, it's like, what if the flight gets delayed? I'm going to miss the connecting flight. I might not get Nothing has happened yet. But when that shit starts playing in my mind, it's almost uncontrollable that it swirls out of control. You go from 0 to 100 real fucking quick. And that's the anxiety part. And that has taken me years and years and years to learn how to deal with that. And even now I take the CBD oil to actually counteract some of those feelings that I have, to keep me calm so I can think through things without completely losing control. Now, in the past, what I did was medicate myself with opiates, heroin, alcohol. Heroin is an opiate, but marijuana, like anything that I could get my hands on before when I was younger, Nubane, ketamine, ecstasy, even liquid GHB, you name it, I would medicate myself with it to stop those anxious feelings. And I didn't understand what it was. And then, I went to rehab, and when you walk into rehab, they basically tell you flat out, like, this is going to be a lifelong thing, and that's scary as fuck. But the problem is, in the Demi Lovato's, in the, what is that other guy's name? Matt Miller? What the fuck is his name? I know I'm fucking butchering this. This other guy that was just, that just passed away, I forgot his name already. The people like Heath Ledger, the people like, that guy from Mission Impossible, the blonde-haired guy who got a bunch of dope and shot himself up and fucking died. Like, the only way for these people to change their lives is to get to the root of the problem. You have to get to the root of the problem. It is so much work to get to the root of your problem, to start working on it, and then have enough trust to the people around you to open yourself up to learn these new tools to deal with these things in life, to where you can be a productive person and not be scared all the time, not be anxious all the time, not be fucked up all the time, or not have to medicate yourself all the time. Like, there's so much work that goes into it that even that is overwhelming, and that causes anxiety. So I get it. You know what I mean? Every day I struggle when I get up in the morning. I say, what do I have to do today? My mind starts racing. I'm like, all right, let's just calm the fuck down for a second, all right? Let's take it one thing at a time. Because if I think about 9 a.m. to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's too much. It's too much going on. This may happen, that may happen, whatever. The anxiety kicks in. It's fucking crazy. But it's a clinical thing. It doesn't go away. You can't make it go away. You can medicate it, but here's the problem. When I was put on several medications, one was Buspar, one was Trazodone, one was Paxil, one was clonazepam, which that one was a real fucking doozy. But they gave me these medications and they made me like level, right? And I couldn't get happy, I couldn't get sad. Things like the clonazepam made me fucked up. Like, I was dopey. I was fucking wanting to go to sleep. Like, I couldn't control my day because I wanted to go to sleep. Taking 3 of those things a day, I didn't want to do anything. I was just fucking out of it. I was like knocked the fuck out. So your choices are to be medicated and be fucked up, try not to be medicated and try to deal with it on your own, which usually winds up in a drug or substance abuse issue, or start doing the work now and you're in for years of hard work. Now here's the problem. Nowadays, all I hear is about everybody talking about work. I work hard. It's all about hard work. I hear that stuff, but I don't necessarily see the people doing the hard work. these people that are relapsing, these people that are going fucking completely off the rails and overdosing and stuff like that, some of it is due to the things being introduced to the body, like the fentanyl, that it can't handle, right? Some of it's too harsh, they shouldn't be taking it. Other people that are overdosing on these things are not doing the work because they don't have the insight to know not only can you do it, but you will do it if you stick to it, and it will be okay. When I walked into rehab, they told me I had a 0.0000. I mean, the number that they said, I was like, what the fuck? Like, so basically there's no chance. And they looked at me and they were like, that's what we're boiling down to. Like, there's such a slim chance that you could maybe possibly in an alternate universe get over this. However, odds are you're going to relapse. Odds are you're in for a battle, and odds are you're going to die young from this. That's what they told me to my face. So if these individuals are walking into a rehab and that's what they're being told, no wonder why they're fucking relapsing. They're being taught that that's part of what's going to happen. Now, it's part of what happens to some people, but not everyone. But they don't talk about that, right? So my thing was, I was like, I don't like this life. Like, I don't like getting up trying to find drugs. I don't like having to sell drugs. I don't like fucking doing any of this shit to try to keep my habit going. It's the same fucking thing every day. Like, I hate my life. I hate myself. I hate everything. Well, if you hate it, why don't you change it? Fucking absolutely. Mission fucking accepted. Or it's time to make that happen. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm going to do. And they were like, yeah, okay, well, everybody says that. And I'm like, I know, but this is what I'm going to do. And day by day, I took it one step at a time. I went on the methadone. I started doing the work on myself with the counselors. And we went through everything. And no matter how painful it was, it took years of me doing this shit over and over and over again. But in the back of my mind, I had, I'm going to fuck everything up again. Like, these celebrities, they got tons of money. They're not worried about being broke and homeless. They're not worried about that shit at all. So they're not even worried about the consequences a lot of times. Well, make some consequences. Make some consequences where if you fucking relapse and go off the fucking rails, you lose control of your estate, period. Have them sign that fucking paper. Say you are going to lose control of everything. You won't have control over your money, your house, your albums. You'll have control over nothing because you can't control yourself to not be fucked up and make bad decisions. Like, you're going to lose it all unless someone else steps in and helps you. You know what I mean? Let them fucking have everything taken away from them, because the average person doesn't have a bank full of money. What they have is fucking a bank that's empty, and they're fucking trying to get up and just not be sick the next day. That person is much more likely going to get better and force themselves to get through what they need to get through so they can live a better life, rather than, there was a book called The Basketball Diary, or Basketball Junkie, I think it was called. Something like that. The guy played for the Celtics, and he said the worst thing in the world for a drug addict is to be rich. He said he was playing for the Celtics. He would land whatever fucking city they were in, take like $5,000 cash right out of the fucking bank. He'd have it in his backpack and go to the worst part of town he could to buy fucking heroin. And he supported his habit until he got cut from the Celtics. When he got cut from the Celtics, he could no longer play. He ran out of money. It forced him to get better. So now you have people like these celebrities that are overdosing. There's no need for them to stop. Somebody gets the drugs for them. They have all the fucking money in the world. They're surrounded by a bunch of yes people that just tell them, yes, I want to get high. I mean, you don't understand. Like, I'm in pain. I'm this. I'm that. I'm upset. I need to calm down. Yes, yes. They give everything to them. Like, part of the problem is they're not isolated. They don't take the people around them that are helping them fucking live this lifestyle. They don't completely change everything. They just go, well, I'm going to stop and I'll just do the 12-step process and I'll just go about my fucking day. And really all that's changed is these celebrities have manipulated everyone around them into believing that they want to get better, so they shut the fuck up and leave them alone. And they continue going off the fucking rails quietly until it ends up in a fucking overdose, or they crash a fucking car, or they sell drugs, or they get caught with a prostitute, some fucking random shit. Everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. What are you talking about? They've been doing it behind your back the whole fucking time. Like, that's what they're good at. You know, so I'm sitting back and I'm like, these are going to be, this is not the end of it. You know, this guy who just overdosed is not the end of it. And it's just going to get fucking worse. I applaud people like Chris Bell, his documentary Leaf of Faith about the kratom, which is helping people get off the opiates, which is, I mean, it's amazing. Helping people with pain, stuff like this. The CBD oil, cannabis, THC, all this stuff that people are trying to do to get away from these other things that are really stealing life from them, I think are, you know, it's new right now. I don't think a lot of people trust it. But here's the deal. Are you going to trust what you're doing? If you continue trusting what you're doing, you're going to die. You're going to jail or you're going to die. Those are the two outs when you're involved with drugs, period. That's all there is to it. Those are your options. The only way that doesn't happen is if you clean your shit up And that starts with you wanting to become a different person. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to be a better, different, okay? Because you might be a really good person right now. You might be the fucking best person in the world, but your head is fucked and you're using drugs, okay? Doesn't make you a bad person, right? So I don't want to see people like, well, I just want to be a better person. Listen, if you've got a great heart and you're fucked up on drugs because your head's fucked, you're a great person. You're a great person on drugs. So go ahead and be a great person off drugs. Just be different than you are now. That's all there is to it. So I don't know what the answer is, guys. I know that I fight every day because I don't want to be like that. You know, I don't want to die due to something that I made a bad decision. You know what I mean? It's one thing if I get on a roller coaster and die, that's one thing. If I'm riding on a train and the fucking train crashes, I die, that's one thing. If I'm walking down the stairs and I slip on ice and fall and break my neck, that's another thing. Like, to die is one thing. To die due to your own, I don't want to say responsibilities, but your own lack of responsibility for yourself because you just don't want to feel pain, that's a whole different thing, because you don't have to be in pain, guys. You don't. You can absolutely talk to people that, all it takes is one person. You know what I mean? Maybe the counselors are not for you, but the counselors are going to help you understand. But that one person that you totally trust, like you truly, absolutely trust, a mother, a parent, a cousin, a brother, like your fucking dog, whatever, like that can make all the difference towards starting the work. But I'm sitting here in front of you guys right now as living fucking proof of somebody who has lived with anxiety, severe anxiety, that crippled me, that literally led me down a fucking road where I was sticking a needle in my arm 10, 12 times a day, shooting up to 10 bags of heroin a day. That's where my addiction led me. To sitting here in front of you at 42 years old, which most of us that are addicted to drugs don't make it here, being able to give you guys this message saying I have never, once, ever, a single time had any relapse of any kind, of any opiate or anything like that, ever. Once I walked into rehab, I decided that was it. And that came from here, guys, here. Okay, my physical has hurt. Okay, my physical self has hurt. Okay, I have had the pain of reliving things that have happened emotionally, right? My body went through the physical withdrawals. My mind went through the tracing back the years, going through the fucking pain again, going through the things that happen to you over and over again to let you know and condition you. It's like doing reps. When you're in the gym doing reps, you're conditioning your muscles. You're trying to get your body to respond. You have to condition your mind, which means, you know, I'll put it right out there. For my uncle being the molester when I was a kid, do you know how many times I had to relive that? Do you know how many times I had to rep that? You know how many sets I had to do of that in my fucking head with my counselor over and over, and the pain and the fucking crying and anxiety and the fucking not being able to breathe and the panic attacks and shit that happened in that fucking office while I was reliving that shit over and over and over again till you finally build up a callus, a strength, a wall that where you can say that is no longer going to harm me. I'm going to keep that outside the wall. And it is no longer going to harm me, but I'm well aware it's there and I know exactly what it fucking is and I know exactly what it did and it's always going to be there. And now what happens is I stand on top of that wall. I've written, actually, it was like a poem or a blog where I talked about pulling myself out of the depths of hell, like pulling myself out of the hole and standing above the hole. And I looked down and what I looked down at was my addiction, and that was hell. And there's fiery and red eye, like demonic eyes staring at me from the fucking hole. And I could walk up to the hole and that fucker would try to grab you, right? That's relapsing. You're getting too close to that fucking hole. So now what I do is I stay way away from that hole. I fucking take a peek at it. I know that motherfucker's down. I stay way the fuck away from that hole and remind myself, that's the pain. That's what your uncle did to you. That's what wasn't your fault. That's what triggered this. That's what led you down the road. And you go over it and you rep it. You rep it. You rep it. You do set after set till you realize, you know what? That 225, well, we'll go 315 on the bench the way I rip my pec, but eventually that 225, that 315, whatever it is, you're able to handle it, right? Unless you tear it back. But you're able to handle it, right? And when you're able to handle it, it doesn't seem so scary anymore. Because now you have control over the weight, you have control over the reps, you have control over the sets. That's what this shit is like in your head. That's what your emotions are. That's what your thoughts are. They're reps, they're sets. You can use those reps and sets to condition your mind, your soul, your everything, just like your muscles. But you have to understand that, and you have to believe that, and you have to know who you are as a fucking human being. You are a human being with multiple systems. Like, you know, you have your brain, you have your heart, you have your lungs, you have your muscles, you have all of this stuff, but you also have a fucking soul. I truly believe that you have a fucking soul in you. Something that makes you feel things that can't be expressed. Something that makes you feel things you can't talk about. Something that makes you feel things that can cripple you or fucking completely incapacitate you. That's part of you too. And once you learn all these things about yourself, that you have them all, they're all there, you're able to control them. You're able to look at them for what they are. You're able to, when they pop up, you recognize them, right? When I have anxiety that pops up, I go, fuck, why do I have anxiety right now? It could be nothing, but it could be something. Is it something? I look around, I say, well, it's really nothing. So therefore, it's just my actual hereditary anxiety that I got. So I need to just calm the fuck down, take a few breaths, continue what I'm doing, because it's not based on anything real. It's based on something inside of me. And I'll take my CBD oil, which is about 30 milligrams of CBD, put it under my tongue, wait 5 minutes, and it starts to subside, and I'm able to calm the fuck down. But you have to make that rational thought first to say, I'm not going to use a drug. I'm going to use CBD. I'm going to use GABA. I'm going to use some melatonin, because you can use that stuff during the day too, and it just calms you down a little bit. To make those conscious efforts and decisions to not try to medicate yourself just to forget. Because when you take drugs, alcohol, and you medicate yourself, it's to forget temporarily. As soon as that shit wears off, it's right in your fucking face. The problem is right there. It hasn't gone away. It's right there. You know what I mean? Except now you're like, well, fuck, I know that worked. So I'm going to medicate myself again and keep forgetting about it. Next thing you know, 2 years goes by. You still haven't worked on the problem. You're still medicating yourself. Your life is fucking out of control. And it's a continuous thing like the movie Groundhog Day until you fucking die, go to jail, or say I've had a fucking enough. So I don't know what the answer is for the general population, right? But you know what? Here's the deal. I don't fucking need the answer. Nor do you, nor does anybody else. All we need is an answer for one fucking person. You. Period. That's it. Like, there's all these things out there about people talking about, like, trying to help other people and stuff. I get that. But those people with anxiety, those people with drug addiction, those people with those problems need to want to help themselves. They have to want to not only understand what's going on with them, but accept it, realize it's a real fucking thing, realize it's not their fault and they can't control it, and then start to look for the tools. But I promise, guys, as soon as you make that decision, that it's like a rock bottom, right? So drug addicts go through a rock bottom, alcoholics go through a rock bottom, people that have problems with eating have a rock bottom. These people have I've had many rock bottoms. When you hit that rock bottom, there's nowhere to fucking go but back up. And that's the whole key, right? Well, how many of you are going to wait till rock bottom that's death? Because that is a rock bottom for many people. And of course, that's not going to help anything or anyone, right? So here's the thing. When you start seeing it happen, when you start feeling it happen, recognize it. Fucking recognize it. Be like, yep, this is what's happening. Cool. All right, I'm having a panic attack. I'm having an anxiety attack. And if you're with people that trust you around you, say, hey, look, I'm having this fucking anxiety attack. Like, talk it through with them. You know what I mean? Be open with it. Don't fucking hide, guys. Hiding is like the worst fucking thing. Hiding that I was molested, hiding that I was on fucking heroin, hiding that I did steroids, hiding that I fucking did any of the shit that I did was the worst fucking thing for my mental health ever. When you are open and honest, people at least look at you and say, he's honest. He's open with me. This is who he is. I love him. He's my cousin. He's my brother. He's my wife, my husband, my whatever. I love him. And he's being honest and he's reaching out and he's trying to help himself. I'm going to help him too. You know what I mean? That person starts to understand a little more about what you're going through, but don't fucking hide your feelings. Don't hide your thoughts. Don't hide your anxieties. Don't hide your depressions. Don't hide it. Put it right out in the open, because hiding it's going to make it fucking 10 times worse, and it's going to manifest itself in something that's very destructive. And another thing that I kind of want to put out there that I didn't realize, back in the time, everything you do doesn't just affect you. It affects the people around you. It affects your loved ones. They may know that you're fucked up, but they don't know how bad you're fucked up. But the bottom line is, guys, addiction is not something that just affects the person doing it. The person doing it is because they're the one that has the problem, but it affects everyone around them. So this being Recovery Awareness Month, September, Recovery Awareness Month, if you get a chance that someone's kind of messed up or having some problems with drugs, anxiety, depression, whatever, reach out to them, right? Just reach out to them. Say, here's the deal, man. Like, I'm just curious, this is what's going on. I'm just curious as to know more about this. Like, are you okay? Are you cool? Whatever, you don't have to be a dick about it. Just throw it out there. If they don't want to talk, that's their prerogative. But I think you just might be surprised with people that would, I don't say reach out to you because you're reaching out to them, but they would respond to what you've said by reaching out, and how much it would mean to those individuals. Like, you have no idea what it means to me when someone asks me, well, how's things going with your addiction? I haven't fucking had any issues in 16 years. That person that asks me how I'm doing today with that addiction, like, thank you for asking. So you understand that it's not just a one and done thing. We struggle all our lives. Yes, that means a lot, because that person understands, because they've probably gone through it themselves or studied enough to try to understand, to try to make an impact in the community of people that do have problems, which gets my absolute utmost respect. So thank you guys for listening. And it sucks that more and more of these people, every time I turn around, someone is fucking dying. They're overdosing fucking left and right, and it's not getting any better. It's not. I'm talking to police officers, I'm talking to marshals, I'm talking to people that are addiction recovery specialists, and they're like, dude, we drive around with Narcan now. Like, we have naltrexone and Narcan in our fucking car just because it's such a fucking thing right now. Like, somebody be sitting waiting for the bus, we could tell by the way they're slumped over that they fucking have OD'd, and we'll fucking hit them right there at the bus stop. Walk right up to the bench and fucking hit them with the Narcan, pop them out, and then, from there, I don't know whether they fucking bring them to the hospital, have them checked out, whatever, but it's a problem that's not really going away, and I hope that if you are struggling and you've never been told that not only is it going to be okay, but you can live a life way more than you ever fucking dreamed. I'll tell you guys right now, I don't know how many examples there are out there, but I wasn't given fucking any. I wasn't even given one. So, fuck it. Let me be the example. You guys who watch me for a while, you guys who know about me, you know what my lifestyle is, you know about my wife, you know about the trips, the traveling, the fucking, all the cool things that I've been through, that I've done, the bad things too. None of those things would have ever happened if I stayed on drugs, and none of those things would have ever happened if I fucking died. So, at least one person right now out there is telling you guys to your face, if you're fucked up on drugs, anxiety, you have all these problems, you can absolutely do it and live a life that is like a fucking movie. BioStraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. And not a stupid movie, a comedy, like a cool movie. www.biostream.com is the blog. It's the Don't Give Up Bicep, and we are out.